money on the spot, you win. That's just kind of the way I do it. I'm a simple kind of gal. I try not to complicate life because life is complicated enough. And so if I can just, say the first caller, that's what it is. So sometimes I do throw a kink in the cog every now and then, but for the most part, you need just have me in your speed dial and you wouldn't have to worry about it, right? And as well, if you suffer from some relationship issue, and I know you do, I know most all of us have something going on, and maybe it's not your season to have that going on, and bravo to you. Enjoy it while it's there, because there'll be a season when something else crops up. I'm just telling you. So if you are in a season where you're struggling a little bit with a relationship issue, let's tackle it while there's not so much going on. I can tackle big, tough ones too, but I'm telling you, if you can catch it on, the beginning stages, wow, that's so much easier to find solutions for, and we don't have to work nearly as hard to get you to a good place. But I will work with you as long as you need to be worked with, and that's what I do here on Just Ask Joyce. Okay, not on this show. Yes, we do open the phone lines for Q&A sometimes, like I did yesterday. It was great. I had Cassie Sodi on. What a doll. I just want to eat her with a spoon every time she comes and leaves. I don't want to part with her. She's just such an asset to this show, and I love it when she comes. But I open these phone lines for your to help you get a fix for life, to get a solution. But if you are timid about calling in, don't be timid about writing me. Just ask Joyce at gmail.com. Just ask Joyce at gmail.com. We can set a time for us to meet and get a plan for you. I like plans, and most of the time, the ones I put before you because I have prayed over it intently, and I ask the Holy Spirit to guide me. He gives me what you need because you know why? Not that I know every detail of your situation, but He does. And so I would encourage you, let's get it together. Get it on. Let's get it taken care of. Write me at justaskjoyce@gmail.com. All right? Let's do it. And when we get back, we're going to be talking with Sarah Heiner about toxins and how they are affecting your kids. That seems to get our attention much more than it does how it's affecting us. We'll be back. Don't go away.
WFIA, The Spirit.
Dad, I'm really afraid of what's happening with the economy. There's too much civil unrest, too much terrorism, and unstable global markets. I'm tired of riding the ups and downs of the market. It reminds me of 2008. I was caught off guard then. How do I prepare for the worst now? What'll I do if the dollar collapses?
You gotta stop worrying, son, and take action. It's time to think about a precious metals private storage IRA or an investment in silver with the Gold Silver Group. Like I said before, you insure your house, your car, your kids, and your life. Don't you think it's time to insure your wealth?
Call Gold Silver Group at 800-943-0829. Learn how easy it is to set up your own precious metals private storage IRA and how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. Gold Silver Group can satisfy any of your precious metals investment needs. Receive your gold and silver fully insured and privately delivered to your door. Call Gold Silver Group, 800-943-0829. 800-943-0829.
Let's face it. The college search process is confusing. I wanted a small university where I could live on campus and enjoy the city. When I visited Spalding, I knew it was right for me. They helped me figure it all out, even helped me with financial aid and scholarships. Now I'm here living on campus, have a great group of friends, professors who care, and I'm part of a community that wants me to succeed. I know Spalding is right for me. Check us out. We might be right for you too.
Home equity loans are the perfect way to make any home improvement project come to life. Rates are low, and the interest is often tax deductible. For a limited time, Class Act Credit Union is offering zero closing costs on any home equity loan. Choose the flexibility of a home equity line of credit, or the certainty of a fixed rate second mortgage, or both, and pay no closing costs. Rates have never been lower. Call Class Act today at 964-7575. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 403005.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention women. New evidence shows that talcum powder products such as Johnson & Johnson's baby powder and shower to shower may cause ovarian cancer. If you or loved one use talcum powder and were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call 800-401-3160 right now. You may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Recently, Johnson & Johnson was ordered to pay $72 million in damages to the family of a woman who died of cancer she said was caused by the company's talcum powder. The jury found that Johnson & Johnson knew that these products could cause cancer and failed to warn consumers. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call 800-401-3160. You may be entitled to cash compensation. Time is limited. Call 800-401-3160 now. Our toll-free phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-401-3160. That's 800-401-3160. 800-401-3160.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
I really didn't plan that commercial to come before this introduction of Sarah Heiner, but hey, it did. Johnson & Johnson and the talcum powder linked with ovarian cancer. And Sarah, it just kind of segued right into you. Thank you so much for joining the show today.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. I was thinking the exact same thing. How funny that was.
Well, this is why I wanted to invite you to the show and let you share your expertise. We should be concerned about things like this, should we not, in this day and age?
Well, we should. I mean, what's really happening is that we're, I'll call it, bathing ourselves in carcinogens. And we don't mean to be, but by the time you put a lotion, a potion, and, wash your face, and all these things have things like parabens in it, BHA, BHT, phthalates. They were intended for a good reason, but in the end, they're harming our bodies and they're putting us at greater risk for cancer.
We're so innocent, and as I was sharing with the audience earlier, kind of innocently being led to the slaughter with this.
Because it is. But let me back up, because I would say it's not like they want to do something deadly.
Right.
Certainly, Johnson & Johnson talcum powder.
Who would have thought?
As innocent as that, right?
Right.
So let's go back 100 years or last century.
Okay.
So that what they were doing, they developed preservatives and they developed antibacterial elements. And what these were for was because people were buying products and they were going rancid. So either things with fats would go rancid, or things with liquids in it, with anything that's water-based would have the risk of getting bacteria in it. You'd get moldy. So you imagine going and put cream on your face and it's moldy. Right, so now you're at risk of other kinds of infection.
Mm-hmm.
So they go, great, let's put preservatives in so that it doesn't get moldy, you don't get bacterial infections. Mm-hmm. Won't that be great? Except for the fact that what's happening is those ingredients that they developed are actually coming back around and harming us.
Right, and I know we have agents, and I say agencies in place to take care of that, to monitor these conditions of products, and the status of them and the progression of them. And I know that initially maybe, because, look how many years it's taken for it to catch up with us, I suppose. But now that we are more aware of this, why are they so, free, and I don't want to say eager because I don't know how eager they are, but they seem so unencumbered about releasing new products without any thought of maybe what it will do 10 years down the road?
I think that life is short-term. I think that scientists, and it happens in pharmaceuticals, it happens in all sorts of things, right? Remember the Viax disaster a number of years ago, the painkiller?
Oh, yes.
Right? And that was the world's greatest painkiller. And then what happens? It causes heart attack. So I think that life is short-term. And I think that the FDA is overworked and understaffed. So in the end, and this is what Bottom Line's publications are all about, is that it's on you. You have to be aware. You have to know what you have to look out for, because you can't assume the government is going to be there taking care of it for you.
Well, obviously they're not.
Exactly. So, and different governments have different rules. So parabens, again, one of these preservatives that are in so many, I'll call it lotions and potions. And the thing that's really creepy about it, it's in brands that you think of as incredibly wholesome. Aveeno, oil of Olay, Dove. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend any advertisers or anything, But you need to read the labels, even Vaseline and even Johnson's. Again, there's some Johnson's baby lotion that has parabens. You put this on your baby at bedtime, you're bathing them in carcinogen, in a higher risk of cancer. So you have to know what to look for on the labels. And that's why we, again, our experts provide information that tell people what to look out for. And then our store sells things that does not have any of that with it because it's so confusing out there. In it, you read the labels, it's in 6-point mouse type, and you can't read it. Even, I'm old and need glasses, but I still can't, right? So it's like fuzz, right? You hand I hand it to my teenagers and say, read this, and they're going, Mom, shut up, you're bothering me.
Well, even they can't read it sometimes. I mean, with their, really good eyes. But, I have to get a magnifying glass. But then it's, and the other thing, it's laborious, Sarah. I mean, it's like, and I don't understand half of it. It's the other thing. I don't understand
It's true, which is why I've kind of got to simpler is better, right? So I used to think, like, if I didn't use some antibacterial soap, right, that I was going to smell all day. And those soaps, those things have something called triclosan in it, which is a bacterial killer. It's in some toothpaste, it's in soaps, it's in all those antibacterial hand soaps.
Wow.
Right? And we've gotten so germophobic, right? Everybody wiping all the bacteria off of every single surface. And guess what? That actually makes us sicker. It actually doesn't exercise the immune system the way that it needs to, and we become more vulnerable to certain things.
I know those hand sanitizers, I mean, moms just keep it going on those kids' hands and even hers. And so,
and then they're ingesting it.
Yeah.
Right? Put it on your kids' hands, and what do? They stick their hands in their mouth.
Sure.
Great plan.
Right.
Right. So I've actually got back to things like Castile soap, like basics, just simple, basic products that I know don't have all this stuff in it, right? And, Whole Foods has all those sorts of things. I mean, there are places that you can find these things.
Right.
But you have to be diligent. Again, you can't assume that it's a brand name that you can trust because when you look at those brands, there are certain products. Again, there's a whole bunch of things that say Vaseline on it. So not everyone is bad, but some of them you need to be on the lookout for. Johnson & Johnson powder. You can use cornstarch and not talc. So you have to be aware of what you're putting in your body. Because, again, the risk of cancer, and it's higher than they thought. You were talking about the government, and, the government makes their decisions based on the research that they're given and provided. Well, so on parabens, they knew there was maybe a cancer connection. Well, then researchers in California last year did a study. Previous research, they would put cancer cells and parabens together, and they'd mix it together, and, okay, maybe some cancer cells would form. But what the University of California at Berkeley people did was they put the parabens and the cancer cells and something called, I always mess up this word, heregulin, which is a growth hormone in breasts, and they put those together because that's what's really happening in your body. And now the parabens were 100 times more potent. That means it needs 1/100th of the amount of paraben to put you at increased risk for cancer.
Wow, you really know how to lift a girl's spirits.
Sorry.
No, I know. This is information that we need to hear. And, unless we are informed, educated, and prepared, then, we're going to just go on putting these things on our bodies. But we are trusting people. And, we just abdicate so much of that responsibility to a higher authority because we feel like they have our best interests at heart. And I'm not so sure they do.
Well, they don't. I mean, businesses are in business to make money.
Right.
So, I mean, that's first of all, right? So, and second of all, again, it's your body. And you have to be able to respond, watch out for your body. And truth be told, we're overwhelmed. How many things, decisions do you have to make every day? All you want to do is buy toothpaste.
Right. I know.
I wanted to buy sunscreen last week. I was going to a baseball game, and I wanted to buy sunscreen. And the number of bottles I had to look at to be sure that I found one that was simply, zinc oxide or titanium oxide rather than the other ingredients that again, are bad for you, was mind-numbing, right? You just want to buy what you want.
I know.
Yeah.
And it almost makes you want to become a recluse, but that's not healthy either for you.
No.
You have to get out and get in the sun, but you just have to protect. It's mind-boggling. You're right, and
it is. But that's why, and I hate to now be a self-promoter, but that truly is why we started the Bottom Line store.
Mm-hmm. And
our experts would give advice to people.
Right.
They take vitamin D. It's good for you. Everybody's vitamin D deficient because nobody goes out in the sun.
Right.
Or whatever it was. And then they'd get confused. They'd go to the grocery store, they'd go to Whole Foods or the health food store and try to figure out vitamin D.
There's a million to choose from, I know.
There are too many choices.
I know.
So we said, all right, let's make life easy. We worked with our naturopathic physicians to give us professional grade so that we knew that there was high quality. We knew that what they say was in there was in there. We knew nothing was made in China and there wasn't lead or anything else. Mm-hmm. So people could be safe coming to the store. Same thing. We don't have any of these ingredients in it, so they're safe coming to Bottom Line store.
Do you have time to come back for another segment, Sarah?
I would right now. I'd love to, or come back another day, whatever you prefer.
No, we'll have you back because right now in a moment after this commercial break, because I want to talk about your website and what people have available to them there. Don't go away. We'll be back with more with Sarah Heiner after this short break.
WFIA, The Spirit.
This is Jim. Jim is a dad who just rode Thunderbird at Holiday World and Splashing Safari and would like to tell you all about it. As you can hear, he's a little overcome with excitement though, so I'm here to translate. Jim says you blast out of the station and go from 0 to 60 to upside down in the first 3.5 seconds. And that then you plummet back towards the earth and feel like you're totally going to graze your feet on the ground. That you shoot back up in the air and loop upside down again before you're convinced you're going to hit the tracks of the voyage. And that the next time you twist upside down, that's 3 so far if you're counting, Jim says, then you fly through the barn where you feel like... Well, I can't very well repeat that on the radio. Oh, look, here comes Jim's wife and kids.
Bring your family to ride on Thunderbird. You can get great discounts at holidayworld.com, and we're closer than you think. You might even say, within screaming distance.